Hi, I'm Sean Patterson Brody for Biology 165, Dr. Awadala, here to report on a few parts of our appendicular skeleton. First, we have our humerus bone, which is also known as the funny bone. We have our greater tubercle here. We have the lesser tubercle here. Posteriorly, we have our olecranon fossa, which is here, this little dip right here. Then we have our medial epicondyle, and then we have our lateral epicondyle bone. We then have our two bones in the lower forearm area, and we have the radial bone, which is here. We have the radial head, which is here. We have the ulna, which is here. And then we have our styloid process, which is here on the radius. And then we have our styloid process, which is here on our ulna. We then have a few bones of our hand. Oops, sorry, I just broke a rib. We have a few bones of our hand, and just inferior to our thumb, we have the trapezium bone. Then we have the trapezoid, which is just inferior to our index finger. And then inferior to the third and the fourth fingers, we have the capitate bone. And then we have our hamate, which is next to it. And then these are metacarpal bones here. And then we have our phalanges here. And on our phalanges, we have our distal phalanges, our middle phalanges, and then we have our proximal phalanges. Moving on to our pelvic girdle, we have our ilium, we have the pubis, we have the obturator foramen, which are these holes where the nerves are able to get through. We then have our ischium. Then moving on down to our femur, which is the longest bone in the body, we have the head of the femur. We have the neck of the femur. We then have our greater trochanter, which is the part here. And then posteriorly to that, we have the lesser trochanter of the femur. Down here, we have our medial epicondyle of the femur. We have the lateral epicondyle. Then moving on to the bones of the lower leg, we have the fibula, which is the smaller bone here. We have the tibia here. And on our tibia, we have the anterior crest. We have the lateral malleolus. And then we have our medial malleolus. And then moving on to our foot bones, we have the tarsal bones, which include the calcaneus, which is our heel bone. We have the talus here. Then we have our metatarsals, which are here. And then we have our phalanges. This concludes my presentation of the bones of the appendicular skeleton. I've really enjoyed learning these parts. It's been a refresher course for me, being that I don't use them all the time or see them all the time. Thank you, and signing out.